Welcome everybody to Action Thursday here in thriving and wonderful sunny Fairfield, Iowa. My name is Alex Taylor. I'm the Managing Director for the Iowa Startup Accelerator Services powered by NewBoCo. NewBoCo is a nonprofit organization dedicated to economic development through computer science education and entrepreneurship, which is why we're all here today. Today is going to be a special presentation. We had a scheduling mix-up with our guest speakers, so we will get them back on at a future date. They will be from Goldman Sachs, and they have a wonderful accelerator program that they will gladly share with this community. I know there's several of you here who might be very interested in participating in their program. So with their absence today, we're going to do something called speed dating. I'll call it Traction Thursday Speed Dating. I'll give each speaker approximately 2 minutes to present what they're working on and take questions from the audience for another 2 minutes. And it appears that we have 6 people willing to participate in this. And we'll just quickly speed date through each of their presentations. And the Fairfield community, anybody with access to public station, will learn about some of the exciting things happening in your community. How's that sound, everybody? All right. So our first speaker, Galen, come on up.
Okay, I will try to make this as quick as possible. There's a couple things going on. Galen Satterley with the Collective, Breadtopia, and the Bakehouse. From the Bakehouse side, which is our pastries, bread, sourdough pizzas, we're doing a January 22nd event where we're basically showcasing everything that the Collective is associated with. So it's going to be all the food vendors, food manufacturers in our building. There's going to be Taco Dreams. We're going to have pizza. We're going to have pastries, croissants. We have Scream ice cream. We have Pickle Creek's going to do some sampling. Cider House. We've got Verizon Wine Bar. She's going to be doing sampling. And we're going to make it an event outside of our building, 400 North 2nd Street, on the 22nd of June. And so that's going to be just kind of an afternoon party that we're doing. Breadtopia side, we're working on developing relationships with farmers so that they can grow us organic, regenerative ag grain, wheat primarily, but oats and other things. And then we will be a processing facility. So we'll work with the farmer to grow what they can grow. 1 minute?
1 minute left.
Oh, okay. So we're growing grain. We're working with farmers on Breadtopia side. So the Collective side, we've got the food waste fermentation program that we're starting up. We're working with Deep Green Machine and the Makerspace. Basically, we're doing a prototype. We're taking all of the pre-consumer food waste, and we're adding a bokashi brand to it. It breaks it down in an anaerobic state so that it does not off-gas, create CO2, but breaks down the material so that it can be easily composted later on. And so we're trying to find out what that takes right now for all restaurants in town. And then and we're working with Faith heavily about the bokashi brand. And then the other thing is I just produced some freeze-dried cold brewed coffee this morning. So it's a instant coffee in a powdered form that we're going to start selling. And we're going to also do our chai and all the other drinks that we create in the bakehouse.
Okay, very good, Galen. Questions for Galen?
When is the coffee going to be available?
If you go over right now, you can try it out. Yeah, I'll tell them to have it samples ready.
Sounds great.
Good.
Other questions for Galen?
I think it's when we're ready with everything is community support. Right now we're with the food waste fermentation. We're working with Veg Fest, trying to process some of their stuff. And then we're going to process the stuff at our event on the 22nd of June. And then we're also working with Ragbri and the whole, when they come through town and processing their food waste as well. Not Ragbri in terms of the state, but just in Fairfield.
Great.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you, Galen. All right. Next up, we have Guy Harvey. Everybody, welcome Guy to the stage. I'll move you over here if you want to sit. There you go, sir. You can sit or stand, however you please.
Okay, thank you.
Over here if you want to sit. There you go, sir. You can sit or stand, however you please.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Guy Harvey, and I have a web design and digital services business called brightsdesigns.com, designs with a Z. And if you search web design in Fairfield, you can find my website and services. I generally serve small solopreneurs like artists, creators, people in the health and wellness. My most recent project was a film writer, producer, and a nationally known artist, and another project was a well-known nonprofit in the Bay Area. I'm also an award-winning photographer. My website is guysphotos.com, and I'm working on a number of long-term projects, but I'm also interested in exploring some commercial photography, some portraiture, architecture. I have done a few houses for people just for their rentals and sales and things like that, and I'm just open to exploring that with people. And
That's great. That's great. Do you have questions? Questions for Guy?
I'm interested in referrals for web design, and I'm also interested in people that would like to try out my photography as well.
And Guy, those web designs, would those be e-commerce designs as well, or is it just the design landing page? Is it the full package?
I have a partner, and we do e-commerce together. It's not my main focus. No.
What would be your main focus then when it's the web design? Is it just sort of the framework and?
Yeah, it's for people that just want to have a strong brand to showcase their services and portfolios. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Oh, got a question back here in the back. 1 second.
Do you work with platforms like Squarespace and any?
I haven't worked with Squarespace specifically. I've worked with Pixpar. Do you know Pixpar? And I have a pretty high aptitude for learning those platforms. Yeah. I also manage email campaigns and webinars and different services for clients, even including their customer service.
All right. Right here in Fairfield. That's great. Let's give him a round. Let's please welcome Gregory.
My name is Gregory Louie, and I'm a retired Alzheimer's disease research scientist. And you know that my vision is to prevent cognitive decline with aging. And what I'm up here for is not so much my business, which is right now in the stage of customer needs and customer development, but really I'd love to have a group of individuals who are interested in the longevity and healthy aging portion. That is a local group that could come together where we could trade the kinds of things that we're concerned about in our own lives. I consider myself somewhat of a biohacker. That is, I take supplements, I do the exercise, I follow some of the thought leaders that are, working on their own health and staying healthy and alive and vibrant as we age. And I'd love to have a support group like that. I myself, even though I'm formally trained as a scientist, I'm an ADHD scientist. What that means is I don't stick with one program. I kind of go from one program to the next, and I would love to have a support and accountability group. So we would come together and kind of discuss what we're trying to do with our own lives, and then kind of record that, and that would kind of support each other in our path towards healthy aging. So there it is again. Right. My name is Gregory Louie, and you can find me gregory.louie, Louie, at gmail.com. And you can email me.
Fantastic, Gregory. Hold on for some questions. We have any questions for Gregory. You're 170 years old, is that right? Marvelous.
You would never know.
Yeah, never know, and I'm not going to ask.
And that's my goal,
don't
170.
Ask, don't tell. Any questions for Gregory? 1 second. Go ahead, John. I'll just repeat it.
Do you have a website yet?
Does he have a website?
No, I
yet?
don't have a website. I'm just in the early stages creating courses.
You should be speaking with Guy afterwards. Go ahead, John.
When is the first meeting going to be?
When is the first meeting?
Oh, that's a good idea. So let's turn it to the group. When is a good day of the week, and is it morning or evening? I'm retired, so I like mornings, but raise your hand if you like Monday mornings or Monday afternoons. I don't see any hands, no response. Tuesday morning? Tuesday afternoon?
So maybe, Gregory, what we could do at next Traction Thursday, if you
Yes.
could just bring a sign-up sheet.
Oh,
where
that would be
people
great.
Could check a box and then leave their email address so you know how to contact them to get that scheduled. How's that sound?
Fantastic, perfect.
All right.
What is the most exciting new biohack that you've discovered?
What is the?
I don't think there's any new exciting biohack. The most important thing is to get exercise. That's probably the most important thing. And then sleep.
It's great. Right after exercise. Thank you very much, Gregory. Next, who would like to present? Ravi, come on up. Everybody, welcome Ravi.
Good afternoon, everybody. This afternoon, I'm going to present you a small concept that I have been working and building on. Let's start with this mobile phone. When we come to this mobile phone, this is our personal assistant. It does everything for me, a communication, taking a note, putting my stuff here, taking photographs, and most of the things that I would want to document for myself and be productive, mobile phone is just going to help me. As simple as that. What happens if I just break it down? I go in the market, buy another phone, and then just what I do is put my email and then put my account. Everything is in here back. And I'm equally productive. Now let's get back to a context of a small-scale entrepreneurs. They struggle with so many things. Selling their product or service, buying certain product or service, recruiting people, doing their account, managing their website. They have to do a lot of things, and that involves bits and pieces of technology. And their files are everywhere in the cloud. Something in Google Drive, somewhere in website, somewhere in accounting services. There are so many everywhere. And then you need to take account of so many things. And that's a lot of headache for SMEs, or maybe they have 1 staff, 2 staff, or 3 staff, running a small store, or you're doing a home-based business, whoever. Now, why not bring in something like this, a mobile phone, maybe a double the size. You hook up into your router, and you have a complete business automation set for everything, your drive, your email, your website, everything, but that just stays in your store. And you don't need to pay any subscription fee for anything but just the device and bit of a naming service. No one is going to hold your data, all your data in your pocket and putting to the router. Now that is going to automate the business. That portable and that local, but universally you can connect with anybody. That's called micronodal servers. These micronodal servers, those might sound like NT Cloud. Yeah, it is, because your machine is in your home, but not NT Cloud because it is governed by your naming services and communication protocol allows you to communicate with everyone. That's a small idea that I have been working. Maybe after 2 weeks, we'll be learning more on a small scale business case, how this can be incorporated with the management system. I'm presenting on June 6th on one of those business idea. And if we can team up, maybe in Fairfield we can start one, or I don't know where. That's my idea about small micro-nodal server, which is self-sufficient, stays with you, but helps you automate your business and your productivity.
Wow. Wow. That's some technology right there. We'll get to Phyllis's question at the very last, which is how we can help you. But do you have any questions from the audience that you would have for Ravi? Caitlin.
What stage are you at right now?
If you want a prototype, I can just deploy in a couple of days. I mean, in terms of technology and machine bits and pieces, but again, it's not a commercially packaged product. I can deploy that. You can get productive. You can see the product. I mean, like getting any machine from the internet, we can just deploy that. I have already done that back home, and I can still do that.
Okay, good. Michael, 1 second here.
Just if you could clarify, why does a small business need an on-prem solution like that?
The whole idea is to cut off those lot of subscription fee. Maybe $10 for Mondays, then $10 for Google Drive, $10 for email, $10 for account. I mean, there are so many subscription things, and like, why not bring it? And furthermore, at top of it, your data is always in the cloud, and someone owns you, and you are the commodity of some services. Why not we have some privacy where we can own our data on our premise?
Interesting. Very good. And what can we? Oh, Faith, hold it.
Integrations like with Zapier or with QuickBooks. Is it an interface potentially with those software?
Will this interface with Zapier or QuickBooks or other software products?
Oh yeah, that's a very good question. Like normally with the QuickBooks, it already does the accounting thing. You wouldn't need that. But with the Zapier and all, because your naming systems is cloud-based, which you pay a little bit for the naming system, you can definitely do any kind of integration possible whenever needed. Now with those applications, that's quite possible because they communicate with the API, and with the API, you can do it when your local machine has a name, a domain name. If you can call that through a domain name and you can access anywhere in the globe, you can definitely integrate with those kind of things.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Is your glue an HTML, or
So-
is it HTML that's the glue to hold this together, or what is the application?
Top of what it is built, you mean to say? So there'll be a database, a PostgreSQL database server, and the application will be built on top of Python. But the interfacing, because it interfaces with the browser, there are your web technologies in there. Variety of different web technologies.
Go.
So I would be worried about two things, which is bandwidth and server attacks from a competitor. Have you thought about those two?
Oh yeah,
issues?
that's a wonderful question again. When you have your local machine in local space, your latency and bandwidth is significantly reduced. That's only limited to your capacity of your router. Now attack, if you want to make it if you use, instead of using IPv4, IPv6 tunneling, if you do that, that escapes a whole lot of attack already. I can showcase you some of the prototype been already done with French Telecom, and these kind of implementation already been there on a secure line.
Okay. Ravi will be here. He's here every Thursday anyway. He's here afterwards, and you can hear from him. But one last question. What can we do to help you?
Let's collaborate and let's do the business.
All right. I like it. Let's give Ravi a round.
Thank you.
Michael, come on up. And then John. Welcome, Michael.
Hi, everyone. It's been a while. So I'm Michael Lesniak. I'm on a leave of absence from South Korea, where I've been for most of the last 20 years. You can learn more about me at malesniak.com. Feel free to reach out anytime. I'm working on a business to make it easy to regenerate our land, and to incorporate regenerative agriculture and regenerate the ecology on like a 200 to 300 year time horizon. So I want to apply artificial intelligence to make the barrier of entry for new farmers lower, so they can come in and then, without failing for 4 or 5 years, actually be able to produce more easily right away. So that's really it in a nutshell. Yeah.
All right. Michael, that was pretty succinct.
Yeah.
So where are you right now with regards to this project?
I am finishing up a second first draft for potential investors to get feedback and hope to raise seed round. Yeah,
So
and need to build a team.
Okay,
So yeah.
So you're interested in building a team, and you're in the process of drafting the business plan and some potential term sheets for investors.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. And where are you seeking investment, and do you have farmers here in the area that you will be collaborating with?
So we want to own the farm. There's a few reasons why we need to own the farm. So the strategy in its current my current thinking is we have to have regional farm labs, and that farm lab is sort of where we begin the process. And then once we have the models built and tuned for that region and that context, then we'll raise a second round to then acquire 1,000 acres or more. And the idea at a macro scale is to take the least profitable per acre farms, which are massive, 1,000 acres or more, and convert them into subplots so that they're essentially tiny and small farms, which are the most profitable per acre farms. And so finding out a way, so first we would start by owning a farm lab, building the technology for that context, and then applying that technology so that when we acquire a larger space, we know that we've mitigated the risk of failure, and we can appreciate the land asset as much as possible. And we'll also have some farmers, new farmers, hopefully, if it works, to actually start operating on that land. Yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah. Questions for Michael?
Onshore or offshore investment for these lands?
Onshore or offshore investments for these lands?
I don't think it really matters. Offshore could include Hawaii, but so yeah, I don't think it really matters. I mean, but yeah, I think I would like to start regionally and potentially California, because there's a lot of interest there too. The largest ag states, as you guys all know, I'm sure in the country, probably in the world in terms of the productivity, is California and Iowa. And I think Iowa is a more important place to do it because there's a lot more degraded land. We're building a lot of low margin crops, and there's just a lot more impact to be had here. So it'd be nice to start regionally. Yeah.
What is the optimum size of one of these small farms?
The small farm. So not sure, but I think the idea is that to take 1,000 acres and then put that into smaller plots. I classify them as tiny farms, as 1 to 9 acres, and small farms, which is 10 to 259, I think. And those are essentially the same categories that are in the U.S. Census anyway, and I just kind of categorized them into 4 spaces. So 1 to 250 acres is a small farm, yeah. So, but the company would own a much larger space, right? And then that would essentially be like a WeWork for farming. So then you have all these different equipment and expert advice and technology assets, things that can be shared. And that also makes it easier for young people, old people, whoever, who are interested in farming, because we need more farmers, because it's labor intensive to grow healthy food. And so the idea is make it more like you were thinking about, right? Like how do you have people engaged in community, but are also building healthy food, like food is medicine, that's going to be able to supply the local community with healthy things that they can eat, while also giving them some mission to focus on, which is like growing this food. Yeah.
Okay, and what can we do to help? Can we? Oh, one last question, Phyllis.
Yeah.
Let me get you the mic.
Does this include livestock?
Yeah, I think it should.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember this question from before. I think that's really important. I think also educating people that, cows are awesome, and we had lots of, ruminants for many centuries. I think the issue is more that things are grown separately, and so finding a way to incorporate them together, I think, is really important. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
What can we do to help aside from saving pennies to invest when you're ready for investors?
Yeah, so I mean, just be patient. I think I've talked to a lot of people. I've had a lot of reflection and thinking about this, doing more research and trying to put together this like more coherent strategy now. And just be patient, and I'll be reaching out to folks soon. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to welcome. Whoa. We're having a malfunction up here. Michael, John Huff, come on up. Welcome.
Hi. Nice to meet everybody. I'm John. I've been an inventor for 55 years, mostly health products. I'll try to be brief. And I started with nutritional things back in the early 70s, I had a natural food company. We made a first really healthy energy bar, had ginseng in it. And because I'm kind of a geeky scientist, my dad was a doctor. My mom was a nutritionalist. I started exploring actual medical studies like PubMed, back when you had to go to the library to do this. So in the process of looking at metabolic pathways and creating products for health in the food space, I kept seeing studies about the benefits of rocking motion. And it turns out that motion is a panacea and that virtually all modern people are deficient in it. And I thought, well, I want to do something about that, certainly for myself at least. So I invented a bed that rocks you with the appropriate motion. Because one of the things about motion is that any motion will increase circulation, which is very beneficial, but there's only one motion that will calm you down while it increases circulation. And that was my eureka moment, and that was why earlier motional beds fail, like the water bed and hammocks and things. They have a beneficial motion increasing circulation, but they create waves in your vestibular system which make you anxious. And particularly for special needs people, that's problematic. But for anyone who really wants to sleep better, you need to have calm, more creative EEG waves. So my eureka moment was when I realized by remembering seeing an older person show you the bucket trick when you're a kid, where you swing a bucket of water over your head and the water stays level. I realized that if I made the bed hang from one point rather than multiple points, that when you moved in the bed, just like in that bucket, the fluid in your inner ear would stay level, which would tell you that you were safe, like in mother's arms, and you would relax. And once I figured this out, that set me off. So I started creating prototypes. I spent 5 years, about $350,000. After that process, I had a patent, and I started producing them in small numbers and doing live events. I got on TV a lot. I was on Jay Leno. I've been on a Sears commercial. I started selling celebrities and doing live events. So over time, I built a modest cottage industry. And where we are now is we want to transition from direct sales to selling through stores, because the one thing that really sells this product is lying down in it. I can talk about the science for hours very easily, all the studies, but when you lie down on it, it becomes a visceral experience because you calm down in a way that you will not in any ordinary bed. So the science shows that this is literally the healthiest way to sleep, and we're proud that we make these beds in Fairfield, and eventually a huge percentage of the population will sleep in motion. So we're just now getting started.
That is fascinating. Right here in Fairfield, too. This is cool. So you've sold some. Approximately how many of these products have you sold?
Around 750.
Fantastic, fantastic. And you're in the process of scaling your business to be nationwide, global at that point.
We are that already, but what we want to do is get into stores, because the demo is the critical issue, and now people have to trust us. They look at the website or maybe one of the smaller events I've done, and they think, oh, that looks cool. And then they're willing to risk spending the money to have one shipped to them. But what we need to be is in 500 stores, 1,000 hotels, and all of that is going to cost about $3 million on the first round, which we're seeking to raise now, so we can ramp up our production and get some marketing done.
Okay, and what's your website?
Oh, yeah, good idea. floatingbed.com.
All right, Kevin.
Are you in any local, regional stores
Are-
in this area?
Are you in any local or regional stores in this area?
We have a demo, which you can call me. If you go to Floating Bed, you can email me. We have 2 demo locations in Fairfield. But being in stores is complicated, because stores typically want 50% margins. And right now, our margins are very thin. We basically have a mom and pop size business, but it depends on us being able to sell with low overhead, low margins. Whereas to get into stores, we need the $3 million so we can do more large manufacturing, get our manufacturing costs down.
Economies of scale. Other questions? Yes, Michael.
So would you license it to
We would
produce it?
license it. I'm open to any kind of deal that makes sense. I want to get it out to the world as fast and as a large scale as possible. So I would license it, I would sell it, I would manage it, I would do any deal that makes sense.
Does the surface matter, or are you flexible on the surface? Because some people like stone beds, for example.
The surface,
The surface, like where you actually sleep on. I guess it's rocking, but it's still a bed, right? So does it have to have a mattress, or can it be like a hard
okay,
surface?
the reason it works is because it hangs like a pendulum, just like that bucket of water. So we have outdoor stands, we have indoor ceiling installation methods, which, we've got beds in Australia and Russia, all over the world. So our manual explains how to install it. And we have quite a few kinds of mattresses. We have memory foam, we have latex, we have a hybrid, which is a combination of the two. So you can flip it and it can be softer or firmer, depending. And we've got organic wool.
How much weight could it bear? Sorry, I can ask you later. I'm thinking of some people who are really interested in sleep. They have these very interesting stone beds.
Stone beds,
Yeah, they're like different types of stone, like this.
like
is that-
crystals.
Yeah, could be crystal.
Yeah, you can put those in conjunction with our bed. And on that note, biohacking is obviously a huge thing right now. And we have studies that show that this is one of the better biohacking methods there is, because all the studies find that there are 4 things that make for longevity and health: sleep, exercise, diet, and nutrition. So if you can do those 4 things, you're going to live longer, but there are very few things that are healthy that are good for sleep, and so we're happy to be in that space.
All right. And what can we do, aside from buying a bed, what else? And save our pennies for potential investment. Boy, a lot of investable opportunities here in Fairfield coming up. What can we do to help?
Yeah, buying a bed is a good idea because, it's not just a theory. I mean, literally everyone should sleep in motion. And our beds are not inexpensive. They tend to cost like in the $5,000 or more range. But save your money because you'll live longer and you'll have more time to spend the rest of it. We also, in terms of health, we want to help. We want to reach out to potential investors, either putting a fund together or people who are interested in longevity who would like to be part of a business that's going to make money by doing good. So anyone that who might participate. Also, we're looking for influencers. Like I would like to get on Joe Rogan or any kind of, Deepak Chopra type websites and shows where I can talk about this, because we really need to spread the message and not many people know about it.
It's fantastic. Well, thank you very much, John. Good luck, and I look forward to hearing your progress. Next up, we have Faith Reeves, who is going to speak to us about any number of things. I'm not going to make any predictions. Let's welcome Faith.
Hi. Okay, so I guess I'd love to just share about the Resilient Action Committee. I'm the sustainability coordinator here in Fairfield, and I have an opportunity to work with an amazing group of volunteers in the community, around 35 individuals who are committing their time through a very long process of writing a resiliency plan for Fairfield. This is something that will go alongside our already wonderful strategic plan, our Fairfield Forever plan, but it's working with specific issues that we're noticing in the community. We're working with 6 subcommittees: land use, private land stewardship, food ways, waste management, enterprise solutions and community connections, and buildings and energy. And so each one of these groups is working in those domain realms. Many of these are professionals in the fields and working to find out what are the issues that we are actually facing here in Jefferson County, here in Fairfield specifically, to write modules for this plan. And we're into the objectives phase. And so we're very shortly about to have an idea around potential projects and solutions. So we'll be coming out into the community to get feedback around the work that we've done so far, and to also get feedback around these objectives and solutions to find out if they are indeed in alignment with the community. We want to make sure that this is a community written plan. And so I'm just up here saying that we are doing this right now. We have a deep interest in working with this amazing community to help it become even better, thinking out into the future around resiliency when it comes down to how we manage our land, whether that's conservation, whether that's land use, whether that's farming, whether that is dealing with our organic waste system. We have a lot of opportunities, a lot of resources, and a lot of ingenuity here in the community, and we'll be reaching out soon.
That is outstanding work. I'm sure the community would echo their appreciation for the work that you're doing in this initiative. Questions for Faith?
What group would be working on the economic resilience piece?
So that would be the Enterprise Solutions and Community Connections. There's a piece of that in there around the trades, working with entrepreneurs, internships, apprenticeships programs, trying to orient our younger generations into the fields that are having a lot of gaps. And then also buildings and energy, working with trades specifically. We have a lot of new technology coming on online with, in essence, kind of the transition away from some of the more antiquated appliance types that we have, and looking at those new appliance types, say like mini splits and heat pumps. That's not a typical plumber or a typical electrician who can install that. They need to have a combination of knowledge plus an extra bit of knowledge to deal with these coolants. And so dealing with new building materials, we need construction level tradespeople who are actually skilled workers to build these new systems. And then land use will also deal with the economic scenario when it comes down to land use, revitalization of underdeveloped properties in the community, whether those are vacant lots or vacant commercial buildings. How can we maximize that footprint and capture an opportunity before these buildings degrade? And then we'll be partnering with Grow Fairfield in certain ways. We'll be partnering, of course, I'm an employee of the city, so we'll be looking for the city's input. We're in support of the chamber and the Main Street program. We're just trying to be a support network for initiatives that are already going on, and then we'll insert some ideas as well.
That's great. And Faith, if somebody from the community would like to get involved or volunteer, where do they go to find more information?
Well, you can find me here at the CoLab pretty frequently, and my email address is resilientff@gmail.com. You can reach out to me, and I'll happily orient you in any direction that you'd like.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Faith.
Thank you.
We've got one more question.
Hi, Ravi.
Normally, when talking about sustainability or resilience, most of the time I hear about people talking about food or climate or land use.
Yes.
That's most of the cases. But today in the modern life, we cannot imagine it without the digital footprints and digital technologies. But like most of the communities in that particular space is too dependent on some external agent, and they are not locally sustainable. And neither they are locally resilient because they are dependent on closed source, proprietary source code most of the time. And they are not much focused on the open source technology ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And does your movement also address that, or do you have any initiative towards that to make the local community more sustainable in terms of digital health?
We are working around the gap in communication, keeping the community connected. We have analog systems of communication that are fading out, and we have generations that are not necessarily able to bridge that gap between analog and digital. Not that they can't, but it may not be their preference. And so we're trying to find those opportunities to make sure that everyone in the community can stay connected. We're not necessarily working on the out of our own domain awareness of our digital life. I'm happy to talk about that, the resiliency of our own data, the resiliency of our own enterprises. Happy to chat about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting question. Okay, thank you very much, Faith. Last, we have Phyllis is going to come up. And Phyllis, I don't know your last name or I forgot. So I will have you introduce yourself and love to hear what you're working on.
Okay, hi, my name is Phyllis Kerr, and I've lived here since 1980. And for the first 20 years of my life here, I was deeply involved in being a musician and a performer, and I traveled all over the state, and I taught choirs, and I did all the things. Then I retired from that, and then I kind of fell into online marketing in 2004, and I've been staring at a screen ever since. And I'm tired of staring at a screen. And so every week here, I always say I'm looking for local projects because I'd like to very much work in an area where it's all about the physicality of something. I'm tired of the digital. I want to do something physical. So I am in the middle. I've been working on a business plan for about a year with some folks in Des Moines, and the business plan is really well set. It's two of them. One is a real estate LLC. The other is a retail LLC. I've located a property on the square that is being privately sold, and I'm working on purchasing that right now. The prices in Fairfield are ridiculous, and so that might take some doing. So good vibes, send them my way for that. But what I envision for this is because of the nature of the downtown buildings, I want to have short-term apartments upstairs, but they will be on the level of boutique apartments where they're very artistically designed and in alignment with some of the other projects that are being done in town. And also, I want it to be a go-to place for people who are coming to the convention center to see things. So the business plan really revolves around the construction of those apartments on the upper floors. Then the retail space is huge, and what I envision for that is a smaller space for smaller events, so that it's a small stage for small events. And then also what I've been just calling a quick mart, because I don't know what to call it yet, but it's hard in this town to get a coffee without waiting or to get a sandwich without waiting. So it will be a completely self-serve space of things that are ready for you. You just walk in, you scan the barcode, you're out. So that it's done, right? So that'll all be self-service inside. And then the retail space will be a little bit of high-end functional art and some sort of gallery type things and things that I create also professionally with my art. So that's the plan.
That sounds fantastic. We really like the idea of the creativity that you bring. I notice your shoes match your blouse. This is
yes, all the
and
stands,
your glasses. It's all one nice package. Do we have quick questions for Phyllis?
Yes, thanks.
Hey, so if you're still planning for that, like check what is it that the shop part. I've seen a lot of those in Korea, so I would love to help you brainstorm. Like for me too, like walking around the convenience stores here, there's like, other than Celsius, there's like nothing small that or healthy that you can drink that you can just go and pick up. So it's like, it's really a great idea.
Yeah, thanks. Got some good plans for that, and I will talk to you about it. Yeah.
Other questions for Phyllis?
My biggest request is when this finally materializes that you actually come in the store. And I really want people to get out of their houses. There are so many people who just stay in their homes in Fairfield. They do not go out. What is that? We're out of that now, right? People need to come back to the downtown. I really want to ride that wave of revitalizing downtown. So thank you for that.
That sounds great. Thank you very much, Phyllis. And I concur. Get out of your houses, get out of your shops. Entrepreneurs in the Fairfield and surrounding community, please, please, please consider Traction Thursday as a destination. Traction Thursday is here to support entrepreneurs, people who want to start a business, people with an idea on the back of a bar napkin are welcome. Small businesses looking to scale and expand both here in Fairfield and beyond. This is a wonderful venue to do that. Your opportunity to hear other entrepreneurs and their stories, learn from them, and equally as important is networking with fellow entrepreneurs in the area who want to hear you succeed. So Traction Thursdays every Thursday here at the CoLab.